with a motion to open the meeting for the Village of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals, Thursday, March 25th.
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor? Kevin, are
Aye.
you there?
Kevin, we can't hear you. We
You're
cannot
muted.
hear you.
Kevin, you're muted. You need to unmute.
I just sent him a request to unmute, so
Yeah.
hopefully he'll hit on that.
Do you see the request to unmute, Kevin? On your screen?
There
There
you
you
go. Awesome. Okay, let me finish this with Jolie.
Did that do it?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
All right, there you go, Jolie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a resolution before us to have procedures regarding adjournments, to move cases along, to keep them moving forward, to keep the public apprised of where we are with respect to active applications. Has everybody had a chance to review the resolution as redrafted and revised?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so can I have a motion to adopt the resolution as written?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of adopting the resolution regarding adjournments as drafted by council?
Aye.
Aye. And Kevin?
Nay,
And Kevin, you're against?
yes.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I think we're making things too tricky for our applicants or our would-be applicants. We're muddying up the waters where it's not necessary. Too much.
Okay, I hear you. We have our first pending decision is case number 3098, Apogee Building Company LLC, 10 Center Street. Can I have a motion to approve the decision as written by council?
So moved.
And all in favor of approving case number 3098, 10 Center Street as written?
Aye.
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 And aye. So unanimous in favor of approving the written decision for case number 3098. The next case on the agenda is case number 3087, 71 Walnut Street LLC. And can I have a motion to reopen this application for the limited purpose of receiving additional document submissions by the applicant?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So Jeff, do we have those documents?
Yes, you do. They were delivered to the village hall. And I know I received one set by email. I don't know if they were separately emailed to the board, but they were delivered to the village hall, I believe, yesterday by counsel, Mr. Flanagan. Oh, sorry.
So that's late, but I have it.
I can check. It may have come in the day before. I would just need to check.
Okay, well, we have it and we'll discuss it at the next work session.
Okay.
So you do not want to hear from the public on this application at this time?
Correct.
Okay.
Isn't it closed for discussion period?
Yes.
It's not at this time. That's over.
Right.
Okay.
The board had previously closed public comment, and then at the last work session, there was a question raised about this particular information. So I had reached out to council to obtain it, and because it is an additional document, I would suggest, and I agree that the board is reopened for the limited purpose of receiving that document. And I did make Mr. Flanagan aware that that would be the potential procedure
Okay.
that the board would go through.
Perfect.
So next on the agenda is case number 3002, Southampton RE Partners, 85 Down East Lane, and we have a permit drafted by our environmental consultant, Chick Voorhees. Can I have a motion to accept the permit as written?
So moved.
I'll second it.
And second, so all in favor of the permit as written for case number 3002?
Aye.
Aye.
Julia, did you vote?
I did unmute. Aye.
And I'm an aye as well, so that's unanimous in favor of approving the permit as written in case number 3002.
Thank you.
Case number 3097 for Fountain 660 Halsey Neck has been withdrawn by the applicant. And case number 3096, Andrew Spreitzer, 85 Hildreth Street, has been adjourned by the board pending the receipt of additional documents requested. And then we move on to case number 3099, where we have a request for adjournment for JNC Halsey Neck LLC, 1384 Meadow Lane. Is the applicant's counsel here? Because we would like to hear a little bit more about the reason for the adjournment.
Yes, Bailey Larkin is here for this application.
Thank you.
Okay, you're in, Bailey.
Good evening, Bailey Larkin with Bennett and Reed, offices at 212 Windmill Lane in Southampton. Since this application had been filed, I understand the board had requested some additional documents to be filed. The property recently was transferred and the new owner intends to move forward with this application. The new owner has retained the services of Lee Wisher from the Woods Hole Group to testify at the upcoming hearing next month. But we understand the board's policies on adjournments, and we would consent to renotice this application for next month if the board would feel more comfortable with that.
But we would appreciate the renoticing. Could you mention again who it is that is testifying, I think you said?
Lee Wisher, he's I'm sorry, let me get his title for you. He's with the Woods Hole Group, and it's the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
Mr. Chairman, is this they keep saying in their request for adjournment that it has something to do with us waiting around for documents. And this is the same letter they submitted the last time. And I objected to it the first time, and I'm objecting to it the second time. Their request for an adjournment should have nothing to do with what we're doing, and actually what they're saying. I don't know what they're referring to, but that should not be part of it. I'd like that struck.
So Bailey, when we read the letter that your firm submitted, it seemed to indicate possibly that the board was requesting information from the applicant, but I don't believe we are requesting information.
I believe at one of the work sessions early on, before this application was heard, the board had asked for copies of other coastal erosion variances that had been issued by the town, by the village in the past. So we have started compiling documents from the building department. We have FOIL requests in to obtain copies of other variances that had been granted from the coastal erosion chapter. So that was the reference, I believe, in the letter that John had submitted with the board.
Okay, so just to clarify the record, the board asked the building department to provide the last 10 applications for new construction on Meadow Lane, Gin Lane, oceanfront. Just the last 10 chronologically. We asked the building department for that information, and they provided it, to the board. But we're not asking the applicant for that additional information that you're collecting. and that additional information could be helpful, but it's not at the request of the board, which is the clarification. So yes, would you renotice it for the next meeting? Or do you think you'll be
we
ready
would.
for the April meeting?
Yes, we'll repost and mail for this.
Thank you.
It's a tight turnaround for some reason. It's the 14th of April. Oh, the real meeting though is the 22nd. Okay, it's fine.
Thank you. Bailey, are you going to present for the new case that we have, 303 First Neck?
I will be, and Frank Greenwald will be joining me. He's around.
We're ready when you are.
Okay.
Would you like me to promote Frank Greenwald in now?
Yeah, it's up to Bailey. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes, please. He's the project architect.
Sure. Okay, yes.
Chairman, could we just, was there then a motion to approve the adjournment to the next meeting of the board for the prior application?
Yes, sorry. Thank you, Jeffrey. Can I have a motion to approve the adjournment of case number 3099 JNC Halsey-Neck LLC 1384 Meadow Lane to the next meeting, subject to renoticing by the applicant?
So
So
moved.
moved.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Mark, this is Chick. This could be a record, but I don't see any other plans matters on.
Yes, I feel as if I know what you're going to request.
But we can be extremely efficient tonight.
Did you want to leave the meeting?
Yes, with your permission.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
All
Good
right.
night.
Thank you, everyone. See you next month. Take care.
Thank you. So this is, what's the case number of this?
It actually is not here.
Yes, it is.
Where
It's
is it?
the very bottom. It's weird, it's weird spacing. Does it have a case number?
It doesn't.
No, there's no case number on the agenda.
Okay, so let's see what it is. Mark, I think you have to say who the people are and where it is because we don't have a case number.
Okay, it is David and Holly Scher, 363 First Neck Lane, but we don't have a case number yet, so we will need to correct that with the building department.
Also, our agenda says it's 303.
It is 303.
Okay.
303 First Neck Lane,
303,
303.
300, we're up in the 3100s here. How do we get down to 300?
Kevin, he was just talking about the
303
address.
Yeah, is the address, 303 First Neck is the address.
I have 3001 on some folder I made up, but I don't know when. So I don't know where I got that from, but that might be it.
Probably it.
Jeffrey, do you have a case number?
Okay. Can I begin? Okay.
Sure.
Or Bailey Larkin.
So on a document, the building department has written 3001 on the application. It's just on a piece of paper I have.
Sorry, Bailey, in a second, we just want to do some housekeeping. Jeffrey, do you have 3001 as the case number?
Doesn't.
I do not. I'll check against the application I have.
It's on the application stamped February 18th by the building department, and someone has written in red pen 3001. That was not me.
I don't, but we can certainly confirm the correct number for the board after the call of the calendar.
Okay, sorry, Bailey, for the interruption. Go ahead.
That's okay. Bailey Larkin with Bennett and Reed, offices at 212 Windmill Lane in Southampton for the applicants. And Frank Greenwald is present, who is the project architect. This is a request for expansion of a pre-existing accessory apartment on the second floor of a pre-existing non-conforming accessory structure. When I was reviewing today, I thought it was most helpful to take a look at this site plan, and then also I have some aerials, if you don't mind if I share my screen with you guys.
Please.
Okay, so let me know if you can see it. So this is the pre-existing structure.
We can't see it yet, Bailey.
Can't see it yet? Okay.
No, we can. No, we can.
Okay. So it's kind of tucked in the back corner of the property. This property is located on the corner of First Neck and Great Plains. Originally, the second floor of this structure was an apartment. There is a certificate of occupancy that allows the use of that second floor as an apartment. It's not allowed to be rented for any sort of income. So it's essentially for guests or staff use. Family members can't be separately rented though from the principal residence. This structure itself is non-conforming with respect to side yard setbacks. It's only 3.6 feet off of the northern property line. And it's also non-conforming with respect to the existing size of the structure. So what we are proposing to do is to add on to the second floor of the structure where there's currently a one-story portion. So the proposed addition would be no closer to the northern property line than is existing. And it's on the second floor of the structure that's non-conforming with respect to height. So the addition would be no higher than what is currently there right now. The second part of the relief, the first part is for the expansion of the apartment. The second portion of the relief is to add on this small one-story portion. This structure serves as the pool house for them, and then they're looking to add on a powder room and changing room, which is this one-story addition right here. I'll show you aerial if I can. You can see the structure here located, the town's website slightly off with property setbacks, but the addition would be in this portion of the structure here with a one-story addition that would extend into the property. The one-story addition would comply with setback requirements. This may be the better view. You can see this portion here is where there is currently that roof to the one-story portion of the residence. I don't know if you can see it that clearly. I thought this was a fairly decent view to show you. This is where the proposed expansion of the structure on the second floor would be. In order to expand this structure, we're requesting relief from the village code provisions that allow up to 50% expansion of a non-conforming use. This proposed expansion would be a total of a 26% increase in the size of the accessory apartment. Again, it's not an apartment that can be rented. It's for use by family, staff, guests. It's not for as a separate dwelling or a separate rentable unit on the property. The relief would require, again, some height relief because we're going to try to match what's currently existing, and setback relief because we were proposing to expand over that one-story portion in the northern portion of the property. It's 3.6 feet from that property line. Additionally, it would require a total of 927 cubic feet of pyramid relief for this proposed portion that would be expanded on the second floor. So we do have available, now the first floor of the structure right now is used as garage space and also as a pool house, essentially. It's a rec room, one large room kind of on the first floor. and an office space. It would remain as an office space and a rec room. The proposed one-story portion would include a powder room and a changing room to use in the pool area. This would allow them to not have to construct a second detached pool house on the property. So I don't know if the board has any questions about it. Frank is obviously here if you do have questions about the plans.
I have some questions because in the drawing of the existing circumstances, the game room is, it says existing non-habitable for
Correct.
the entire garage, which I believe.
So the
What is so you've got an office, a bathroom, a bathroom, and a few other things in there?
Correct. A couple of years ago, the prior owner obtained approval to use that first floor as essentially pool house space.
We don't have that. We have this, where is that located in the document?
It only required a building permit. A copy of the certificate of occupancy was filed with the application. It's used as a conforming use. It's like pool house space within the structure. So it's a rec room. It's not heated space. The second floor apartment is heated habitable space. The rec room itself is essentially pool house space on the first floor.
Well, the C of O that all of them say garage with a second floor apartment. I don't see where this use is mentioned in these certificates of occupancy.
The pool house use was permitted. It received our Board of Architectural Review Board approval several years ago, and there is a certificate of occupancy for that use.
What's the date?
A one-car garage. Hold on, let me pull it. Sorry, I'll keep yours here. There is a one-car garage that's currently in there as well. That's part of that. Let me just find the approval for you. November 23rd, 2002 was when the ARB and the building department signed off on a building permit for that portion of the structure to be used. It was previously a 3-car garage. It was a 1-car garage, and the additional space was permitted to be used as an office and rec room space.
Kelly, I'm not sure if we have those materials, but they could be helpful. The building permit application, the issuance of the building permit, and the ARB approval.
I can file copies with you.
Council? So if there was, I don't know about, I feel like the use has been changed and I'm not sure. I don't know what to think about that since I don't have any proof that that was actually done. She's claiming that because the ARB approved something inside. Is that right? The ARB doesn't approve things inside. I used to be the chair. It's
No,
only
the
outside.
ARB approved exterior alterations. It was a 3-car garage with 3 bays. They approved exterior alterations and a building permit. Building permit 7965 was issued in 2002 to permit those interior alterations to be using a portion of the first floor as an office space and a rec room.
Does it actually say that?
It does. I can file copies with you so you have these for your records.
Isn't that a change of use?
Well, I think it's my next question, Bailey, after this renovation, is there still a garage on the first floor?
No, we would designate a portion of the first floor as a storage area. It would be smaller than a garage would be. I think that's shown on Frank's floor plans for the first floor.
So it wouldn't be a car garage, it would be a storage area?
Correct.
I apologize. May I just ask one question for my own clarification, if you don't mind? And the first floor is proposed. The kitchen facilities that are proposed, though, that,
The kitchen facilities would be associated with the accessory apartment. And there's shown on the floor plan a door dividing the space. We would have a kitchen relocated downstairs
right.
with the bedrooms and bathrooms upstairs for the accessory apartment.
And was there an indication that that whole first floor would remain unheated?
Correct. So I think Frank had marked off on here portions of the structure hatched in red. Those portions would become part of the accessory apartment. The existing game room would remain as such, essentially the pool house. And the office within that first floor that's existing would be relocated. We did note on our floor plans the new storage area that would be located where the garage essentially is right now.
So when completed, how many bathrooms would be in this structure?
There would be 3 bedrooms on the second floor, and each of them would have a designated bathroom, a powder room on the first floor near the kitchen, and the exterior powder room for use as a pool house. And then the second, there would be also a bathroom within the office space. So 1, 2, 4, 6 bathrooms total in here.
And 3 bedrooms on the second floor. Is there a bedroom on the first floor?
No, no bedroom.
There's an office with its own bathroom.
Correct.
Isn't that considered by law to be a bedroom then?
For health department purposes, they'll have to
Okay.
comply with wastewater requirements for whatever's been installed in there. But for this application, and it would be a designated office, it would not be considered a bedroom. And it's not part of the accessory apartment, so it would be within the accessory structure portion of this structure.
And these, so you're saying that the first floor would not be heated? How can you have a bathroom down there? How many bathrooms are on the first floor now you're proposing? 2, 3?
Correct. The village does not allow accessory structures, so pool houses that have bathrooms in them are unheated structures in the village. They have to be winterized. So those portions of the structure that are accessory portions, which are essentially pool house for this house, would remain as unheated portions of the structure.
So how would that work? You're going to have the unheated underneath. I have underneath bedrooms and bathrooms.
That's what's currently there right now. That's what's there right now.
And the pipes, don't you turn, all the water is turned off? Because otherwise there could be, I have a similar situation. I have to heat underneath so that there's no chance of a freeze up. So I'm losing it here. Never mind.
May I ask a question? Which is, I think what I'm hearing is that there'll be the bedrooms upstairs with the bathrooms. Downstairs will be the office with a bath. Then there'll be a powder room, and then there'll be some kind of a pool house. Is it just the portion of the first floor that is designated as the pool house that will remain unheated, but the rest of the first floor will be heated?
Correct.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
So on the floor plans that we submitted, it's hatched in red, the kitchen area, the staircase to the apartment, and there's a first floor powder room next to the kitchen. Those will be heated areas, part of the apartment. The second floor obviously will, with the bedrooms and bathrooms, but the remaining portion of the structure will be, will comply with the village's accessory structure requirement that it's unheated.
And will I think I'm getting this right. Will the powder room that's in the pool house, will that have a wall that is up against the heated portion of
It will
the
be,
rest of the structure?
it's essentially accessed from the exterior.
Okay, but it will have a heated, essentially a heated wall.
One wall. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you speak to the basement or what's going on underneath? Bailey,
Frank?
is there a basement being created?
No.
Frank Greenwald, architect, 295 Main Street, Sag Harbor. There's a small crawl space just for the pool equipment underneath the sort of underneath the staircase, basically. Otherwise, no, there's no basement.
Okay, and your ceiling height underneath there?
In the crawl space, where the pool equipment is, it'd be 6 feet. So it's not non-habitable. The rest of it will be 2 or 3 feet. Just a crawl space to get to keep the dirt away from the floor.
But Frank, is the crawl space the entire footprint of the structure?
That would be the plan, yes. But it's a 2-foot tall crawl space, as I said, just to get the floor structure out of the ground.
Mm-hmm. But you are whatever's there is being lifted up.
Well, it's being excavated. In other words, the floor level will remain where it is.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got to pick it up, excavate it out a couple of feet, and then drop the building back down.
Okay. And then, Frank, how many square feet total is resulting, excluding the pool house? What's the square footage of the structure?
It's about must be close to 3,000 square feet. Existing second floor is almost 1,300. So 13 times 2 is 26. It's about 2,800 square feet, plus the pool house, probably about 29, 50, something like that. Close to 3,000 feet, including habitable space and the uninhabitable, quote unquote, pool house space on the first.
I'm sorry, I missed I lost the plot for a second. Are you excavating the building so that there's, I heard so that there's not dirt underneath, but is it also to run heating underneath so that the floors are heated, or no, it's just to keep dirt out of it? Okay.
Just to get, right now it's an old slab on grade. We'd like to get put a wood floor down and clean it up, and so we'd just be digging it down 2 feet or 2.5 feet or something like that, just to get a little crawl space so it can be vented and can breathe, and it's just better.
Sure.
Susan, to answer your question before, in terms of heating and winterizing, it's almost as if there's a garage space on the ground floor, and then that's not heated in a residence, and then up above it could be bedrooms and bathrooms. So it's just a matter of how you run the pipes and how you wrap the pipes, insulate the pipes. They may have to be traced if they're exposed something.
Well, I have a bedroom above my garage, and I heat the garage so that I'm not going to have an issue. So that's why I'm asking, because I think that the actual structure was probably not used in the winter when it was a garage.
I'm sure.
And therefore, it makes me wonder all these claims about unheated and heated, which make me uncomfortable. I heat my garage because when it's 0 degrees, I don't want the pipes in the 1 bedroom above the garage to freeze.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it, you have a big space down there.
And it's going to be heated except for the pool house, is what I'm understanding, right?
Well, the pool house is bigger than just the little bathroom and changing room. The pool house, it would include the game room, the relocated office, the storage area, the washer.
Oh, I misunderstood that. I
So
thought
is
the
that-
office, the game room, et cetera, all had heat in it.
It's
And that the only wall space that wasn't going to be heated was
the little pool house.
that little pool house space, but that it would have an interior exterior wall to the rest of the house that would actually have heat. So I misunderstood that. Tell me how, I'm sorry to ask you this
Hold
again.
on, I'm gonna try and pull up the floor plan that Frank had marked up for you. Hold on, let me see if it will
Well,
load.
could we hear from Frank about exactly what's being heated, just because we are now confused the cat. I
But
don't
maybe,
know.
maybe with the floor plans, it would help.
Hold
Okay.
on, let me pull up the floor plan because it does help because he did color everything for us.
It's complicated. The existing C of O allows for the second floor apartment to be a heated conditioned space, but the ground floor, which was originally a garage, the ground floor is now non-habitable space, but pool house type space. And what was allowed was an office, a bathroom, a playroom, a washer dryer, and those spaces are not conditioned spaces.
What does that mean in plain English?
It means they're not heated or air conditioned.
And they're not allowed to be, is that correct?
That is correct by the definition in the village, correct, Bailey?
They're not allowed to be heated. A pool
Not
house,
allowed
I
to be
believe they can have air conditioning, but you can't have heat. So it's a seasonal use only.
Right.
And you're claiming that it's a seasonal use only down there?
Yes. Yes. We're
The
not.
office, is the office?
Yes.
You can see
If
this
you,
red portion here is the only portion that would become part of the accessory apartment. This would be heated space.
correct, the kitchen and the
The
little
rest of it.
powder room and the staircase.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad that we clarified that.
Bailey, do you want to pull up the existing first floor plan?
Yeah, I think it's on this page.
Maybe that'll make a little.
Yeah, I think it's right up in the corner of this page. It just scrolls very slowly.
Yep, there it is.
There we go.
Yes, so that is the existing. That's the existing condition that's there now. That is what has been approved by the building department. So all of that area that's post-shade with the diagonal black line is existing non-habitable, non-heated space.
And to the left, that, I don't know what, that's the laundry, what's over there?
There's a laundry room at the lower left-hand corner. There's a mechanical space, and then there's a bathroom above that, an office, and then the garage and game room.
And the laundry would not be functional during the winter?
It can't be.
So there's no laundry in this garage, for this garage apartment?
Correct. Unless we put a washer dryer upstairs, I guess. It's basically the entire building is a seasonal kind of building.
You have, well, that's what you're saying, but that's not actually what the C of O is about, because, this is what we do. We need to know the actual purpose and the rules, and also what was approved. And I'm confused about when the expansion of the use garage changed, and I'm concerned about that.
Bailey, do you have the C of O?
Yep. What I can do is I'll file a copy of the plans that were permitted in 2002. So you can see that conversion of the first floor from garage space to, game room. And I will give you a copy of the certificate of occupancy on that as well. So you have that. I know there were multiple that we filed as part of the application, but I'll be sure to give you the correct one so you have it for your records.
Bailey, you emailed me the C of Os last week.
Yep. I did. Let me stop sharing.
I have a C of O, this is my problem, a 2006 C of O that states 2.5-story single-family residence with covered front porch, covered rear deck, valid pre-existing non-conforming accessory, 2-story garage with apartment not rentable, swimming pool with patio and patio covered awning. Nowhere does it say,
This was the 19, is that the 1997
no,
certificate?
that's 2006.
No, that's 1997.
It's two, I'm reading from a piece of paper you submitted.
I can clarify that for you, and I can also get you these stamped approved plans so you have them for your records.
So why with all those C of O's, we did not get the, I just feel like there's like, it's disorganized and confusing of the documentation of the use, which I think is important.
It's a complicated, application. It is complicated.
No, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying that I need the documentation and I need to know what the uses were, because you're claiming that the use was changed, and I don't honestly see that in 2007, and you're saying it was changed in 2002. That's all.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's what what we do. It's tedious, I get it.
This is not a use variance application.
Well, that's what we're wondering about, how the use is being changed, because one of the things that's happening here, and Frank, maybe you can weigh in, or Jeffrey, you as well. We have a C of O for a second floor apartment. When you relocate the kitchen from the second floor to the first floor, and when you eliminate the garage entirely, even though the C of O says garage with accessory apartment, what are we doing here? Are we changing the use entirely? Because it's starting to look like a second home on the property. And I guess that if I jump ahead, that seems like the concern here. Frank, can you let us know your thoughts? How is this different from a house?
Well, it's what we're applying for is an expansion, a 25 or 26% expansion of the habitable space. That's what the application is, an expansion of the habitable space, which is a small addition on the first floor and the moving the kitchen downstairs and that little powder room downstairs. That's what the application is for. I've assumed this whole time that the situation that exists there currently, which is documented in a set of plans that were filed and approved by the building department, shows this playroom, this office, this bathroom, this laundry room on the first floor that's non-heated, non-habitable. I'm not sure what the right terminology is, but it's non-heated space. So it's not living space. And that we've been going under the assumption that what's there now, what exists there now, which is documented in a set of drawings that are filed with the building department, which I think you have, those existing plans. That we're requesting a 26% increase in habitable space, almost all within that structure. So
Similar as a request that we had filed for a property on Captain's Neck, I believe it was, and I can file a copy of the decision in that case, where it was a carriage house where the first floor was garage space. The second floor was considered a guest house. We had requested approval from the board to additionally convert some of the first floor into guest house space. I can definitely get a copy of that decision and file that with the board as well. The first floor uses in the structure are conforming uses. It's accessory office, accessory pool house right now, and garage space. The proposed expansion again is about 26%, as Frank mentioned. We're trying to keep that within the structure, so we were proposing to relocate it to the first floor. I saw someone's note about a kitchen being added. There currently is a kitchen in the apartment on the second floor. We're just trying to relocate it to the first floor to expand the bedroom space on the second floor.
So in the case you're referring to, was the accessory structure 3 feet off the line with that carriage house?
That carriage house, no.
Thank you.
Okay, does any other board member have any questions? Bailey, I don't want to interrupt you. Is there more, or should we see if there are any neighbors who want to be heard, and then the board can discuss this at the next work session as well?
Sure. That sounds okay.
Okay, are there any neighbors who would like to be heard? I do have a letter from a neighbor across the street on First Neck who is concerned and writes, "I am concerned that this could set a precedent," this application, she means, "decreasing the value of the properties in the neighborhood and significantly increasing traffic on First Neck Lane." She's raising the questions because in her submission to the board, she is wondering how we are converting an apartment above a garage to what appears to her, and I have some question about this as well. What starts to look like an accessory apartment being converted into a house. And I think that's something that we need to talk about at the work session.
Does anyone have any public comment? I saw a hand up earlier. That hand went down. Would you like to speak? Yes, Donna Zilka would like to be heard.
Sure, certainly.
She's coming in. Donna, you're in. You're on mute.
Actually, you heard what I had to say in the letter. I'm just concerned that there's another house going up on a property that's zoned for only one house. That's it. But I'm not gonna, that's my only comment, and I'm not gonna waste your time. This is so good that you guys have an early evening. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So Bailey, is it okay, and Frank, if we adjourn this for all purposes at this point?
Yes, and before the work session, we'll be sure to get you copies of those approved building permits for the pool house area of the structure and copies of all certificates of occupancy for what has been done.
Are there copies of the actual application?
I can get that to you.
Not this application, the one.
No, the one where the first floor was.
Whatever. I feel like I've got some
Sure.
of the information, but not all of it. So I'm interested in when the change theoretically happened, because saying that the ARB approved exterior alterations has nothing to do with what goes on inside the house.
And a building permit issued in 2002, so I can get you copies of those plans and all the approvals.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn whatever case number this turns out to be, but to adjourn the case of David and Holly Scher, 303 First Neck Lane for all purposes?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Bailey. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
That's the end, I believe, of our agenda. Does anybody else have any comments or anything that they would like to discuss before we might close the meeting?
Did anyone hear from Dan?
I did. He had to take care of something last minute, so he'll be back. So can I have a motion then to close the meeting, to close the public hearing dated March 25th, 2021?
So
So
moved.
moved.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.